Imagine peering over the trenches of World War I, scanning the horizons for signs of movement without risking your life. That's where this piece of history comes in, the trench periscope. But is it real or is it a replica? In this video we're going to be diving into this intriguing find, a wooden trench periscope, labelled number 9 Mark III. There's a mirror at the bottom and the top, both behind these shutters, and in the middle there's also this storage area for 2 extra mirrors. It all seems to be in good condition, so why don't we put it into action and see if it still works. Okay, so let's put this into action. I wanted to actually go outside and film, but unfortunately it's pitch black, so the study will have to do, and this can be our trench. So I've moved into position and I want to look out there. So the first thing I'll need to do is open one of these shutters that hides the mirror at that side. So that's opened up. I'm not going to use the spike that would be on here, basically because I don't have one, but you can use a spike to fix it onto things. Then down here at the bottom, I'm not using any binoculars, so I won't need this bottom bit, but I'm going to open it just enough that I can see out of, and then keeping my head below the trench, and then just going to slowly raise it up and have a look out until I can see what I want to see. And I've actually put a picture of World War I no man's land out there, and I can see it perfectly clearly. Having restored this and cleaned the mirror, I've got a really good clean view, and you can imagine even using binoculars you'd be able to see absolutely everything you would need to do. So, you know, very simple equipment, but also very effective. And I'll give you a look at what I'm looking at now. Okay, now we've seen it in action, let's have a closer look at the parts that make up this periscope. Why don't we start with the construction first? It's predominantly made out of wood and it's well constructed, as you can see, although there are some metal parts on there such as the hinge and the guides for the shutters. Interestingly, most of the World War I periscopes that I found online were painted in a kind of military green, whereas this one's been painted black, which raises my suspicions. But you would think that if someone was making a replica, they would paint it green just like the original ones were. So that doesn't necessarily discount it straight away. Next up, let's have a look at the label. So as you can see on here, it says Periscope number 9 Mark III. And what I'll do is I'll try and just take a screenshot of that as I read the rest of the label. So what it says is 22.5 inches between the mirrors. Instructions for use in carrying: fix the spike approximately parallel to the body of the periscope and use it either as a handle or to hook the periscope to the equipment. So implying some kind of equipment use here. When observing with a binocular, rest it on the glass screen, and I'll show you that in a second. But when observing without binoculars, lower the bottom shutter until the eyes are protected by it and the glass. So that's going to be for glare and things like that. Now the label, again, this appears to be, it looks original at first use, but this looks more handwritten, and I'm pretty sure that the originals are more of like a factory design. So that could be a second indicator that things aren't quite what they seem. However, the next thing I think does lead me to question its authenticity a little bit more, and that's the fact that trench periscopes were designed to be able to fold in half. They would basically have a fold here, this would be cut in half, and there would be a hinge on one side and a clip on the other that would allow it to fold into half and be more portable inside its carrier. And of course, this one here that we can see is all one fixed solid piece. Let's go a little further and show you the parts. So this is the area that you would be observing out of, and as you can see there's this lovely shutter that slides up there, and you've got the mirror inside that you look into. But in addition to the mirror, it has this glass portion that it mentions. So what that means is when you're using binoculars, you put the binoculars up against there and it stops you sticking the binoculars in and damaging the mirror on the inside. And then if you were just looking through it with your eyes, to avoid glare or dust or other things, you would lower the screen down until you just had enough, because you don't actually need it all the way open, you just have to be able to see the mirror for it to be in use. On the far side, this would be exactly the same, but you've just got a mirror portion that would be looking out towards wherever you were looking. Now what's quite nice is you can open these latches, open this section up, and what this allows you to do is slide these mirrors out. So if I put that flat, These lovely, thick, chunky mirrors slide all the way out, as you can see here. And I think that's a really nice touch because it's a way in which you could put your spare mirrors in or also clean them if they got dirty. Close the hatch up and put the locking mechanism down like so. So little touches like that, again, make you question, is this real or is this replica? Because someone's gone to a lot of time for that detail. So the next thing to have a look at is this part here. So there's this is actually a little storage container. Again, if we open up the little latch, this top section opens up and inside there's some newspaper. If we pull out the newspaper, we have two more mirrors inside. So we've got a mirror here and another mirror there. And this is where we get another little clue potentially behind its history. Because if we look at the newspaper that's been used, we can see right here that this is from the 10th of December 1966. So why would someone have a piece of newspaper in here decades after the war ended? Maybe it's the last time someone took care of this original, or maybe it gives a little bit of a clue about when someone might have produced this. So now we've had a look at that, I'll put the newspaper back on here to protect it and just slide that back inside the storage area. But really nice to have that detail and to have the two spare mirrors inside as well. So that's it, it's a pretty simple device. It's got this solid wooden body, the two mirrors at either end of 45 degrees with these access doors to the rear to allow you to clean or replace them. And you've also got these shutters, which again are for either protecting the mirrors or protecting your eyes from glare, with this little piece at the front for resting binoculars on as well. This one missing a spike that would sit on the side. So the more I look at this, the more I feel like it's a well-built, well-crafted replica, possibly for doing things like reenactments or maybe a history enthusiast. In fact, that ties in with the 1960s newspaper because it was around that period that interest in both World War I and World War II surged as veterans from both the conflicts aged, and they were keen to either preserve their history or share and educate with others. Okay, it's verdict time. What do you think? Is this real or replica? Personally, I'm leaning towards the latter, but honestly, I'm not disappointed. The fact that someone went to so much time and effort, probably around the 60s, to produce a pretty faithful reproduction has given us the opportunity today to revisit that point in history, the ingenuity and also the courage of soldiers enduring trench warfare. If you've enjoyed this look at a unique item and you want to see more of this kind of stuff, then please feel free to subscribe to the channel. And until the next one, all the best, take care and see ya.